Welcome to Come and See, your podcast for finding truth in a world of chaos. Brought to you by All for Jesus Living Waters Ministry. With host and founder Richard Case and co-host and retreat leader Kathy Ricconi. Join us every weekday at this time to discuss news, spend time in the Word, and receive answers to your personal questions about living life in God's truth. And now your host, Richard Case.
Well, good morning, Kathy. We are having a great week here. This is
Happy June.
Happy June 1st. This is the beginning of the summer time. Summer, 21st is officially summer, but I think when June hits, it's summer. So
it feels like it, right?
Yeah. So it'll be fun. I know that we're looking forward to the summer together, and you got graduations and that are probably finishing up and getting ready for college.
Yeah, actually June 1st is Anna's graduation from her SST program, which is the Careers in Ed that she shared about doing. And then June 11th will be her actual graduation.
Wow.
So lots going on.
Wow, that's great. Well, that's exciting. And we're looking forward to active summer. We're going to do some more filming this year on projects. So hopefully you get to come out for that and be part of what we do there and keep our coursework going and developing. And we're having some cool stuff happen with our ministry in Salem Broadcasting is going to be doing testing with me doing a radio spot.
Oh, nice.
During here in Colorado, a brief radio spot. It's just really a very short discussion of meaning probably a minute of who are we, and then encouraging people to get to the website and get access.
How many courses do we have online right now?
We have right now we have 9 that are online. We have 10 more that I'm working on. Working on mean we filmed them. The film is edited. What I do, and this is really
Still doing
cool,
the workbooks, right?
Is I do the workbooks, and then I've located a professional writer who's been with me now.
Nice.
And then what they do is they load up all the scripture. They have a person that actually does that, and they put all that, because I just mark it what it is, and then they actually do the work of that. She edits the manuscript.
Nice.
She sends it back to me. We back and forth, and she's asking questions. And by the way, the longer we've done this now, because we've done 9, we're doing 10 more. Her questions get fewer and fewer.
She's starting to get what you're saying, right?
She says, "I really understand now what you're doing," and
that's great.
And then she sends it to a proofreader, and the proofreader is I would say a second editor.
Okay.
Because she'll also, when she's proofing it, she has a column of this sentence doesn't make sense, or I don't understand what you're saying here. So then we tweak with that.
That's great.
Then we send it to a formatter, and a formatter is the one that makes it pretty.
Yeah, and those
colors.
Workbooks are gorgeous.
Yeah,
they really
gorgeous.
have done a great job with them.
So then they do that work and then get the numbers and everything lined up. And then when we're ready to go, I can load it up onto the course, Teachable, through our website, and people could order the course. So we're in the process of that, and the film editing has been done. I got workbooks, and I'm ahead of the editor.
Okay.
So I stay ahead of her. She's doing her thing while the other things are doing their thing, and I just keep going day by day, week by week to get it done. And then we'll by this midsummer we'll have 10 of them pretty well loaded up. So we'll have 19 then, and we're gonna film 5 new ones, 5 ones that I've been working on. I've got some new ones that I've done, so that'll be fun. So my joy, by the way, primarily is the beginning of it. And that's just to be spending time with God, abiding, and He gives me all of this insight that I keep processing literally over months, and then at the end He puts it together, and it's like now it can become a course And of course, the question always to me is, do you believe this?
Right.
And
right.
are you experiencing it? So I can't really let it go until God says, well, let's see if you believe it, And
Yep.
so it's kind of fun. So yeah, we're in the middle of that. So we've talked about the covenant. I'm going to bless you to make you a blessing. We've gone through the privileges of that. We've been talking about our responsibility, which is to separate, make sure our inner circle is with us, walking with God, to be obedient and faithful to what God is saying. And as we look further at that, it's, well, how do we consider the steps, the path that we're on? It's called, pondering the path of our feet, which we talked about last time, typically with Isaiah. So let's keep going on this and look at Psalm 37, 23. These next ones are just kind of short statements, but they're really important. Psalm 37, 23.
Steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way.
Yeah. So the steps of a person following God, that's what the definition of a good man is. Good
Right.
man and women. Remember, it's men and women. The steps of those following God is what? What does he say?
Ordered
It's
by
ordered
God. Yeah.
by God. It's established, set up, put in place, orchestrated by God. So he says, I am putting forth basically where I want you to walk.
Right.
And I'm going to set the steps, which implies, again, think of that. The steps implies what?
That it's one at a time.
It's one at
you
a
know?
time.
Yeah.
Because what we would like to know is, well, just show me the whole thing. And how is this all going to work? He said,
Right.
well, why don't I just tell you the next step?
Yeah. And I love the end of that, though, is so important. And he delights in his way, and that he is capitalized. So it's God delighting in our way,
Yeah.
in the way that he is leading us. And so as we're on that path, think about the weight of that for just a second. As we walk on his path, the God of the universe, the same God who spoke a word and the world came into order, says, I delight being with you on this path.
Yeah.
I delight to be with you, Rich. I delight to be with you, Kathy. That's, to me, that is just amazing sometimes when I stop and think, he delights to be on that path with me.
Yeah. And the delight, think about what path are we on? We're on the path of the covenant.
Right.
So what does he delight in? Giving us the covenant.
Yeah.
And us discovering.
And it's a joy to him.
Yeah, and it's a discovering on our part, and what I call opening up the presence along that path of, wow, look at this. I got to have this. I got to open this up and experience this. And you've experienced this, and I certainly do now with our grandkids. As a parent, like at Christmas time, there's presents, and you think about, pray about, okay, what would be enjoyable for that kid, and then you find that special thing, like, ooh, this will be something unusual. He's not expecting this, or she's expecting this. And then they open it up. First of all, they're excited, but what happens to you when they're excited?
You are overwhelmed with joy and delight. I mean, that's the fun part, right?
It's thrilling to have them experience the good thing that you took time to deliver, gave it to them, and they opened it up. And you actually, the giver is the one, I believe, that's more delighted than the receiver.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you get to see the experience of it and the appreciation of it and the joy of it. And I think when God says he delights in these steps, is that it's like he gets thrilled at us receiving the gift that he has planned for us along this path.
Right.
And hey, you discovered it, and what a thrill this is to him.
Yeah.
And by the way, he says, I get to be with you by definition. Why? Because it's step by step.
Right. It's funny. I picture, so it's a running joke in my household that Christmas Eve, I am the one who cannot sleep.
Right, right.
I am wide awake all night. I can't wait to go down in the morning and let the kids open the presents that we had, just the fun of all of that. But I wonder sometimes if I'm reflecting God's heart in that, and that he just like, I wonder if he's just like, oh, I can't wait. I've got this around the corner. She doesn't even know it's coming
That's
yet.
right.
And,
That's right.
and I can't sleep till I give it to her,
That's
I
right.
wonder if he doesn't just delight in the same way.
Yeah, he delights, and it's something that that's why the covenant is so critical. Is stay with me, God speaking, be on my path. You're going to experience these wonderful things that I have already lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you them all. You're going to have to walk with me step by step and come to these forks in the road. Turn right, turn left. It's this way. This will be interesting. You'll get to experience this. Remember, the path, as we know, is where in the world. He doesn't say it's a rose garden. It's a difficult place, but I'm going to deliver you that covenant in that place. Okay, go to Proverbs 14:15.
Right. Proverbs 14:15. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps.
Yeah. So it's basically the simple or the unwise. Basically, I'll just go wherever. He said, well, that's not going to work. He says,
right.
If you're wise, if you have a heart to follow me, you'll discern, process, go through the aspect of perceiving my path, my steps for you. And again, think of it as a real simple way. If you're approaching it that way, then what are you doing? You're seeking who?
You're seeking him.
You're seeking him. He said it's really that simple. If you have a heart to go, well, you're not gonna wander around and mess up and just kind of hit it once in a while. No, you'll be on it, because why? Well, you care to. Why would you care to? Well, it's best and then better.
Right.
So why don't you come? Don't be unwise. Okay, go to Psalm 27:11.
Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies.
Yeah. So the path, again, we've talked about the path. The verb here is we're asking God to do what? Which you know all about.
To lead us.
Well, and
to teach us and to lead us. Yeah.
Okay. We've said this before, but we want to reiterate it. As a teacher, how did you approach teaching anybody?
You have to start on some of the basics, really.
Yeah.
But you teach the way they learn.
Yeah.
And so you do meet them where they're at and take them step by step and lay foundation and then build upon the foundation so that they can employ what you're teaching them.
Yeah. And so as a teacher, do you just say to them, well, go ahead, do whatever you want. I hope you find out?
No, you walk alongside them and you help them discover and lead them into discovery.
Okay. Based on what? See, it's called curriculum. You put a lesson plan together of, it's not like, well, I'll teach you maybe this, maybe that, we'll see. You already have it planned out, the lesson plan of the path that you're going to take them from the beginning day of school to the graduation of that course, the final exam.
In fact, there's a phrase we use: teaching with the end in mind.
Yeah.
As you're developing lesson plans, knowing where you're wanting to get them, and then very deliberately taking the steps that lead them to the end, teaching with the end in mind.
Yeah. Okay. So why do you have the end in mind? And why are you able to teach them? Why are you the person teaching them?
Well, because I've already learned it. I know this, and am in charge of that or shepherding that. But you have the end in mind, because if you don't, then there is, as a teacher, there would be chaos. You would be all over the place and not land where you're trying to get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a path.
Yeah, and see, the people coming to the course is that they don't know it, and they know that you do.
Right.
So I'm willing to come to this course and learn from you because you know more than me.
Exactly.
And I want to learn it. Okay, you're going to teach it. So as you're teaching, is it you better get this straight or else? How do you approach the students, which are all over the place,
Right.
saying, I'm not getting this, or I'm not completely understanding this. Some are at a different pace, some aren't.
Right.
How do you approach them?
And you really do have to tailor it to each child, or each person, whatever the case is that you're teaching. But going to where they're at and helping them make the next step in the progression for them and how they learn.
Yeah.
And for some, God really, I love to say he speaks the way we listen. And I think that's like a very similar thing to as a teacher. I know there are some kids that I've taught before that they need to have their hands in the mud to understand what mud is,
Right.
And then others that would much rather read all about it and never touch it. But there's different ways we learn, whether it's just different styles and ways that he has wired us, and he literally steps into how he's wired us and knows that and is able to teach us from that place.
Yeah. And is it okay that they make a mistake, they didn't quite get it, they tried and it didn't work? Is that okay for you as a teacher?
Absolutely. In fact, you can step in and use those as teachable moments and then continue the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Because ultimately you have a path, a lesson plan. Your heart for every student is to get where?
To get to the end, to actually
get
know,
down the path.
know what we want them to know. Yeah.
And your heart is, let me help you. I'm going to give you instruction. I'm going to speak. I'm going to help you understand. We're going to process dialogue. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. So really all you're saying is just stay in class.
Right.
I'll do the teaching. And it doesn't matter to me that you're struggling with that. I will work to get you there. All you got to do is stay with me. And that's what God says is, as I'm going to teach you and lead you on the path that I have planned for you, let me do that. And if he's the teacher, we are who? We're the learner.
Right.
In other words, we never say, well, I know more than you, so I'm going to go off. I'm going to go off and do my thing. I'm not coming to class anymore. And you would say, okay, but you're never going to learn this.
Right.
You think
so
you know
funny,
it.
as you're saying that, I can't help but have a picture in my mind. Do you remember the movie Karate Kid?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you? Yeah. And so I'm picturing Mr. Miyagi teaching him wax on, wax
That's
off,
it,
wax
yeah.
on, wax off, and paint the fence. Show me paint the fence. Show me paint the
right.
house, and all these different steps. And then when he brings it full circle and brings it together, and you see what he was actually teaching him. I think often that is a beautiful parallel of how sometimes we don't see exactly what God is teaching us, but we stay with him on the path, and he is teaching us, and then he brings all these pieces together in this beautiful way that we could have never imagined. It's fun to watch, right?
That's right. And then I remember in that movie, he and of course this is true of everybody, is, well, I want to get to the good stuff. Let's learn how to fight, using karate. He says,
right.
He says, nah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We'll get there. Don't worry. But we're gonna do this first,
right?
Because you got to learn it as it plays out, over time. My grandson Aiden, we have a video of him. It's really cool. Linda and I were just watching this. He's 3 years old. We had bought him at Christmas time a little kiddie drum set.
Oh, I bet his parents loved that.
Yeah, and it was just, at the time it was just banging stuff.
Right.
Well, Linda would, with the boys, would teach them worship songs. And one of the ways she did it was to have a video, like of Michael W. Smith, for example.
Right.
And they would watch it, and then they would learn it and sing it and do it. Well, there's one particular one has a drum intro. And Aiden, because she's watching this,
right,
at age 3, he got it, and it's like,
something?
And so he's playing. We have this video of him playing this drum intro to that worship song.
That's amazing.
At age 3, and so we could see, wow, this kid's got some talent for that. Okay, so now fast forward about 7-8 years, and he's been fooling around with the drums a little bit. But I said, would you like to really become a drummer? Yes. Okay, I buy him a nice set. I said, now I'm going to teach you what's called rudiments. It's kind of the wax on, wax off stuff.
Right.
Rudiments of drumming, and they're all different kinds. They're by name, and I'm going to teach you these, and you're going to have to practice them. And I said, I know you're going to ask me, well, when do we get to play a song?
Right.
I said, I'm not going to let you ever play a song until you learn the rudiments. And you can play them well, and you can play them with smoothness. I don't care about speed. Smoothness, and he's got, remember, a snare drum and 2 tom-toms and a floor tom, where you can go to all 4 drums and play that rudiment smoothly. When you do that, and there's 52 of them, when you learn them all, we'll let you play a song. Okay, are you gonna put the effort in? Yes. Are you gonna listen? Are you gonna be a student? Yes. So literally, it was like, I think 7-8 months. Teach them a rudiment, go practice it, and I'd say, okay, let's try it. Nope, that's not it. Keep trying it, And so ultimately, he's building it. Yep, you got that one. Now he's get another one. So ultimately, there'd be 52, and at the moment, I would say, okay, paradiddle, and he'd have to play it. A flam, double flam, double paradiddle, 7-stroke roll. I would be speaking them, and he'd have to play it. And when he learned it, like you said, the wax on, wax off, he learned it. Okay, now we can put it together, and you can play a song.
Right.
And then I said, by the way, my teaching has gotten you to that place. We really need to go get you now a professional younger kid who knows how to play all these songs now. Because I haven't kept up with all
take these foundations.
I haven't kept up with all that, so we did, and so it was really cool because the teacher said, "Well, tell me about yourself." He said, "Well, I've been practicing and all that." He said, "Well, what do you know about drumming?" And he says, "I know all the rudiments." He said, "What do you mean you know all the rudiments?" He said, I know all the rudiments and I can play all the rudiments. He said, "Well, who taught you that?" He said, "Well, my Opa." He said,
I love it.
And this kid says, "Hallelujah." He says,
you just made his job so much easier.
The kids I get don't even know what a rudiment is, let alone know what they are and play them. He says, "Oh my gosh," he says, "this is going to be fantastic. If you know that, now I can really teach you how to do it." So here he's now going on to be a junior in high school, and he sends me videos. And if I didn't know it was him, I was just listening to it, I would say that's a professional drummer.
That's awesome.
And he's unbelievable good. I mean, he's unbelievable good. And so it's,
fun.
Being taught is truly, and he took it on, is that's what God says to us is, let me teach you step by step. Don't try to get to the end too fast. Don't jump over stuff. I got to teach you this, and I got to teach you that. Stay with me, knowing I'm going to get you there to the beauty of fulfilling the things on the path. But I'll teach you, and you be a learner, and it's okay that you struggle or fail. I'll get you there. And the heart of God is what you said your heart was, is that it's really just for them, to teach them in the way they learn, to move them down the path, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get them there, and that's the heart of God. Okay, go to Psalm 86, 11 to 12.
Psalm 86, 11 to 12. Teach me your way, O Lord. I will walk in your truth. Unite my heart to fear your name. I will praise you, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify your name forevermore.
Yeah. This is a little bit of an add-on. As we're being taught, we are actually praying to unite my heart with what?
With his.
With his.
Yeah.
Is, in other words, I want to learn this not so it's so mechanical. I don't want to be just, well, tell me what to do and I'll do it. It's unite my heart, my soul, with your understanding, your reasoning, your bigger story. Help me to embrace a little bit of about what you're up to. and make my heart in unity with yours, because that's where the life is going to come, and the enthusiasm is going to come, and the excitement, because we start to see, oh, this is what you're up to,
Right.
and we get to join that in a beautiful way, and that excites us. So
Absolutely.
like you and I, we've been praying that unite our heart to His heart. Well, one thing that we're excited about is literally we would love the Christian world, and of course everybody that becomes a believer, to learn abiding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we see what's on His heart. We see what He's up to. It's not a mechanical thing. It's not to teach them Bible study.
Yeah. It's to
Well,
teach them to seek intimacy with Him
it's
that
have
He
intimacy,
desires.
intimacy
Yeah.
with God, and we're on that path. And He shows us what to do, literally day by day, step by step, podcast by podcast. So we don't even have a script for it. We know where we're
Right.
headed, but we get to share because we know what's on His heart, and we get to experience it. And there's a thrill to that our heart is being united to His heart.
Right.
And that's why our enthusiasm, our excitement, our joy of, man, how fun is this? That we get to be part of what He's up to. It's not a go do this mechanically and try to teach people to do a few things. No, it's invite them, by the way, that their hearts would be united with His. So it's really a significant
That's
statement.
great. I love that.
Yeah. And then we'll finish this little section with, go ahead, and if you got Psalm 101, 1-4.
I do. Here we go. It says, I will sing of mercy and justice to you, O Lord. I will sing praises. I will behave wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when will you come to me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set nothing wicked before my eyes. I hate the work of those who fall away. It shall not cling to me. A perverse heart shall depart from me. I will not know wickedness.
Yeah. Little clever little sentence here, statement. He says, I'm going to walk within my house with integrity, with wisdom, and I'm not going to allow things that aren't healthy for me to be there. Okay, now, again, there's really a profound thing. When you're walking within your house, he says, okay, you're doing this alone, basically. There's nobody watching you. What is he saying here? The way I'm going to walk is how?
Or it says with a perfect heart.
With a
I'm gonna walk
heart.
With a perfect heart.
In
So
other
a heart
words,
to be with Him.
I'm not going to fake it. I'm not doing this for public show, or I'm not acting one way when I'm with others, and then a different way when I'm just alone.
That's good.
I'm walking with a heart while I'm in my alone time. Just
In
me
the
and,
most pure of places with no audience.
just you and me,
This is who
God.
I am. Yeah.
Yep, I want to walk with you, and there's nobody to observe me. There's nobody to tell me one thing or the other than I get to be with you. And remember, your delight is in me, and my delight is in you. And so when it's private, now it's truly a heart thing.
Right.
So that, do you spend the energy to spend time with God, to be abiding with Him, to walk with Him, to learn from Him, let Him guide your steps? Or is it a show? I talk about it, but personally,
when I'm by myself, this is
personally,
what it looks
I'm
like.
really not doing it because I'm too busy, or I've got other things to do. He said, no, if it's at that private level and that's how your heart is, it's going to be spectacular, and I'm going to be able to lead you. Why? Because you really have a true heart to follow. And there's kind of the evidence of it is when you're by
Right.
yourself, do you have a heart to follow me?
That's
so
great.
It's really
Yeah.
it's really a cool story. So as we finish this little section on pondering our path, it implies, well, there is a path. God knows it. Be with me. I'll tell you how to go. Have a heart to go. I delight in you being on that path because I'm going to be able to deliver to you the covenant. And it's all about your heart. Do you have a heart to learn it and process it and walk with it? How? Step by step by step. Enjoy the steps and don't get ahead of me, and don't stop let's go. So we'll talk as we look at that. We're going to move into this next section on, that requires wisdom. And how do we receive that as we're walking down the path? So where you can see how we're going deeper and deeper and deeper into our place in this, our responsibility in it, is to stay on the path and then walk in the wisdom of it. So we'll pick this up again next week. We have guest day tomorrow, and then we have End Times Friday and Friday. So we'll continue with that, but we'll pick this up again next week, second week of June. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing today. And I hope you guys found today encouraging, and just be encouraged that God wants to walk on this path with you.
Yes, right.
He
Amen.
wants to walk with you, and he delights to do
does.
that. So a simple yes. Yes,
Yes.
Lord, I want to be on the path with you. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
and
go.
He's got adventure ahead.
Why would we not, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
have a great day,
All right.
everyone.
All right.
Thanks for joining
All right.
us.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Come and See, your podcast for truth in a world of chaos. Brought to you by All for Jesus Living Waters Ministry. Send us your questions and comments, and tune in tomorrow for more answers to your personal questions about living life in God's truth. Remember, God's will is best and none better. His truth brings peace in this world of chaos.